was some dream. Hello everyone, welcome back to Neopets, the Darkest Faerie. After a long rest of an indeterminate amount of time, we definitely have been left behind by the other knights who have went off to Illusen's Glade to see what's going on there. But according to other people in the castle, it might have been longer than just a night. But who could we talk to? Oh, hello.
Hiya!
Hiya. They seem to be really worried that the knights have not returned, which gives me an issue about the time frame between when they left and the point we're at now. It could be just a night. That could be considered a pun, I don't know. Or it could be just several days in order to get to Illusen's Glade. I don't know the time frame, and that's kind of the problem I have with a lot of games with a bunch of different areas that people go to. Is they really don't explain how much time it takes in order to get to certain places. But we're going to take the same route that we did with Kagum, and not get ordered at all in order to go to Illusen's Glade. We're going to follow the old knight's advice. And apparently, he's going to come with us this time. But not at the same time. Anyways. So that's our goal at this point. But before we go, there are some significant changes to the castle in terms of what is open, like the throne room. This is the second and I guess only other time we're able to freely go in here at this point. Don't know what he's doing, to be completely honest. Doing neck exercises. But we can go around the castle and talk to everybody, and they'll have different things to say about what the knights being gone, and how they feel about that, and how the castle is a little bit different now that, well, apparently Meridel's just not being guarded anymore? Like, I'm sure there's more than just the 4 knights that went over there.
Hiya!
But up on the 3rd floor, a significant change between Katriana and Edric has happened in ways that, kind of strange. They've apparently patched up their differences. Now they're writing poetry back and forth. Or at least one way towards her. Of course, Servant having to do, like, extra work because they're so excited to see each other, but they can't because they're in separate rooms. I don't know, if you ever wanted to see closure to this arc about fighting, yeah, they just get back together with no impact from us whatsoever. Just kind of happens off screen. Well, keep working at the poetry. It's a little bit rough at this point. And the 4th floor, well, other than the guards who are doing guard stuff, the defenders are gone, and we still can't get into that room. Unfortunately. There is someone who kind of wanders around every so often, being this lady. She doesn't show up all the time, but she apparently likes looking for Master Torak a whole lot. But since he's gone too, that's pretty much it. Even the dining hall is a little bit different. Sir Harlag is not one of the knights that actually goes to Illusen's Glade, but he's not there anymore. In fact, he's not anywhere in the castle as far as I could find. Even in the other rooms where nothing's really happening. But like I said before, he's really not a really important part of the game anymore, so... well, yeah, he can go and just poof all he wants. Does make the chef a little bit upset, though. Oh, come on. Cry act a little bit more. There you go. The only person that's, still strange, is Fawn. I slowed down the footage just so that you can look and see that she still calls us a squire. We're still looking at the Mia Mice quest at that point. Does anybody talk to Fawn? Is she even there in the castle? Is she a figment of our imagination? I'm not even sure. Back to the dichotomy of the guards. Well, Daryl's up to speed. Conley, no, he's not at all. That's great. As much as I would like to talk to all of the knights who apparently have nothing better to do than to wander around the city for days on end, they have some little things to say other than what we've done in the town. But yeah, not really a whole lot different there. But there is one thing we are able to do in order to suit up before we go to Illusen's Glade. That's actually head back to the armor shop.
Hey!
It's actually a very small window that you're able to get an upgrade to your armor. Seeing as we've been knighted, our squire mail is, well, a little bit weird to have at this point. So we might as well get an upgrade to the knight's plate. 2,500 Neopoints, not too bad. There we go. You're a little bit stuck in place there, boy. Yes. Replace our chain mail with plate mail. We're heading up in quick advancement in the medieval times anyways. We could also head back to Rongus Rognus just to see if there's anything different, but other than calling us Sir, and then a general statement which... There are a lot of knights who are the same species as Tor. So, never mind. As we get closer to Illusen's Glade, though, you notice that it's like they're talking about dark clouds. But there's actually no dark clouds around Illusen's Glade at all at this point, so I don't know what the issue they're talking about is. But seeing as the knights have not come back, something's up. So now we get to go here properly. If you're not the exploration type, you're probably not going to be coming here until this point. So let's take a look at this store.
Wow.
The only one of its kind, really. A neg store. It's pretty much only here for the sake of having the 3 different kinds of restorative negs. The speckled, striped, and silver. As well as it has one other one as well, right over here. The golden neg. These are really good, and if you have the cash in order to spend on them, do so, because red negs improve your health, star negs improve your magic, golden negs improve both. So now we have our 7th health extension and our 3rd magic extension. It's quite good. Other than that, there's really no purpose of going into the store afterwards, unless you're someone who really likes making sure that both are topped up at the same time. Now I have to mow all the grass to make sure that I have all of my Neopoints back, all 2,000 that I spent. So with my Doggle Fox in tow, the bridge now rebuilt, we can head into Illusen's Glade, finally, in order to see what's going on in here. But first, you might notice that there's some areas that we can go to on the other side of the river. Illusen's Glade, as a map, is one that is known for having a lot of things kind of in its nooks and crannies a whole lot. Whoop. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Perfect. And one of those first things is actually over here, behind this waterfall, which can be a little bit difficult to navigate because the camera is not pleasant in this area. Behind the waterfall is a 12-leaf clover. Always good to have, because at this point I think we're half full on our clover meter. It's surprising how fast it can actually fill up once you find a whole lot of 12 leaves. kind of as we're going through Illusen's Glade, the music is a little apprehensive, almost. Mysterious in a way, mixed with the Glade, the sense of the Glade owned by the Earth Faerie of the Neopets lore. But I find this area to be a little, well, disappointing circumstances-wise. I kind of wish you were able to come in here at your own leisure instead of having, you know, the only thing being around is wereloops, because the Wereloop King is around here somewhere. Because otherwise, Illusen's Glade is empty for all of the game, pretty much. You're only coming here when it's a sense of urgency. What is this that I picked up? Hold on. I'm not entirely sure what I picked up. What it looks... It should be... It should be one of the potions that we actually don't have yet, but... That is such an indistinct design that it gave us, I'm not sure what it could actually be. Because it should be a dispelling potion, shouldn't it? I don't even know where it went. Okay, mystery item. It counts as one of the treasures anyways. There's 4 in the entire map that we're able to get. Among other places that we're able to go. And other places that we feel like we should be able to go, but the game just decides not to. Oh. Okay. Are you coming? Hey, your pathfinding worked. Awesome. In my past experiences with fighting wereloops in Illusen's Glade, they could be a little bit finicky in order to work with. The other thing about the wereloops in this area is that they are fire-based. So, water moats, if you've been picking up a whole lot of them in the Meridel Plains, in the river, you should have a whole lot in order to dispatch fire-based enemies very quickly in this game. You'd be surprised how many enemies in this game are fire-based. It's almost like they didn't want to try and make full use of the moat system. Then again, I also have a Doggle Fox, which increases my attack, so that works too. So it's like areas like this where there's a huge mound of dirt which feels like you should be able to get up, but are weirdly rounded and feel like they're almost too steep in order to get up in some places. Yet you can get up it. But with the tree, that's another story. There's an invisible wall around it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more freedom in an area like this. It's huge, it's open, there's a lot of promise for like verticality in terms of going around the trees and whatnot. But Illusen's Glade is actually really restrictive once you get down to it. The few side areas there are, like this area over here that I'm climbing up, are really the only place in order to truly explore until we get to our main objective. Oh, you're gonna be fun. Thank you. Okay. So not only are there basher wereloops, but there's also these guys, the range version, the bone throwers. The bone throwers are actually really easy once they stop running away from you, have very low defense. But then again, you can always deflect their bones right back at them so that they kill themselves. That works too. What's behind here? Nothing. Okay. Sometimes there can be things that are just hidden out in the open and you don't know until you search every single place for it. But there is a vine that we're able to zip line across, and if we let go right in the middle of it, we'll fall into the giant tree stump in the middle. Down here is our extra special reward, another supernova moat. Beyond that, though, there's not much else, unless you really like exploring this whole area. And I kind of want to, because I want to give this area more merit. because it looks really cool and it's a really open forest area. But man, they don't do much with it. Other than make it pretty. At least they do that. Oh, there's some bushes up here. But I gotta feed you. Alright. Will I get anything? Ooh! There we go. That's a good haul. Some speckled negs. A lot of the times I forget to use the negs, to be honest. I usually prefer using primarily the health restoratives because they come in such abundance compared to the negs. But oh well. Let's keep moving. Kinda wish we were also able to go into the houses in this area. Now when it comes to the bashers, this area is not completely clean when it comes to, say, glitches and whatnot. Because in the past I have had issues with fighting a Wereloop basher in this area, and he has fallen through the ground at some points. And I will say, when enemies fall through the ground, they act in very weird ways. I mentioned that the pathfinding was kind of good for a lot of the bashers, but when they're underground, they don't know where to go. So they sometimes like to go and walk backwards to try and find a way out and back onto the map properly. But ultimately, if you ever find that an enemy goes underground, it will still try to attack you from beneath you. You will still hear noise. But they'll never be able to hit you, and you'll never be able to hit them. So they're kind of a lost cause at that point. It's just kind of a little bit of a silly thing that still happens with a game like this, where you just hit a seam and you're able to just fall through. You're just gonna... Oh, there you go. You woke up! Thank you. Right. Hello, Master. How long have you been in a very tiny cage that is just made for you, where you are not able to either sit down... Let's break you out. Who knows how long he's been in there. He's also not going to explain what's happened to him. But yes, we have 3 other knights to rescue other than Torak. We have Cadmir, we have Lawrence, which I forgot he was also here too. Both of Pernilla's sweethearts are here. And Eberd, the guy who wouldn't talk to us last time we were in contact with him. All 3 of the knights are in the area that is underneath the actual, proper glade that is... or actually the treetop houses of the glade, which are right above us. They're in rather, I would say, commendable places, because they could have just put them, smack in the middle of nowhere and guarded by a basher or 2. But they actually don't do that. They make use of the map. Hey! Oh, excuse you! I'm trying to explain something. And get a whole lot of cash, so thank you. Where the cages are for the other 3 knights actually make use of the full breadth of the map in this area, which I really like. And no, we can't go up to the top yet. Torak will refuse to operate the lift for us until all the knights are saved. And even though we could possibly lie to him and say, yeah, we saved the other 3, they're good, and just go up onto the lift into the treetops, we can't. So let's look for them. So if you haven't been one who wants to explore the entirety of the map, or don't really have a keen eye, you might find a few little issues with something like that. That was a weird point. And sometimes even I find issues, because there's a lot of ways in order to get back to the central point of this map where Torak's cage is. So, there's one up there, so that's good. I'm going to see... We can get up that way, but there's actually one that's further to the left of that cage, right in a tiny little alcove, which is rather strange. You wouldn't know it's here unless you were really looking, and that's where Everett is. Sometimes he's the last knight I'm able to find. One down, 2 to go. And it's lucky that the other one is actually not that far off from the other one. The best clue I could probably give for finding all of the knights is to look on the outside edges. Because one is going to be in the cave, one is going to be among the climbable ledges that you're able to get up to. This being Lawrence. Come on, Locke. Here we go. Always with just the tip. Guessing they mean the king. I will just say that the king is an interesting character once we're finally introduced to him. And the third treasure chest is also in this area as well, just on the southern area. Ooh, there we go. Mirka speed is also very, very good to have. Pretty much I'm going to be storing up for when it's going to be very helpful for it, using them much later on in the game. What is paying attention to me? I'm not sure. The last one, though, is in this kind of passage. Sometimes I forget what happens in this game, and then I find this passage again and going like, oh, this is a new thing that I haven't seen before. And then I realize, oh, it's just Cadmere. Okay. Fine, then. Come on out. See, it's wooden and tied with rope. You didn't think you could just, like, really get angry and bash it? But then again, it's guarded by a wereloop, and I guess you're not able to actually defend yourself against one basher guard per each of you. And you're supposed to be the defenders of Meridel. Great. Great job. The other thing is I never see any of the knights with their weapon. Like, we know that Torak has a sword because we fixed it ourselves. But the rest of the knights, do they just not get to carry their swords compared to us? I don't know. Like, there is a game reason, sure, but I'm wanting an actual reason. I demand to know. Alright, Torak. Got all the knights, are you happy? Can't even talk to you. Alright, up we go. See, the treetops are kind of the most interesting area of Illusen's Glade to me. But again, I find it to be rather disappointing because nothing's done with it. You just kind of get a sense that possibly a higher class of people who would be living in the Glade would be living up here. But even then, it's all ransacked and kind of a mess. And I don't really get a sense of where anybody sleeps up here. Other than, say, a cot or on the ground. Well, on the floor ground. Anyways, because they're up in the air. Just want to know things, that's all. I think there's a guy on the above us, maybe. So that's kind of what I'm trying to find. Again, the map is not really all that helpful when there's multiple tiers that are kind of on top of each other in order to climb up. You just gotta find an incline in order to find a way. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going up. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, bone throwers, 2 hits with a water moat. Easy as pie. Now there's one more chest in order to find, and can be a little bit strangely hidden. It's kind of hidden within the persistent black smoke that is coming out of this area, but not so much in order to actually do it. So either, if the timing is right, you will either miss it completely, or it won't actually mesh properly with everything, and it's not hidden at all. You just kind of have to get lucky at that point. But if there's a save point right here, that means that we're really close to where we're supposed to be, and over on the distance, we have 2 characters. I guess they're just chilling and talking for right now. Static in place. Hey guys.
Get away from her!
This is the best Meridel has to offer. You're barely a mouthful.
I said get away.
I don't have time for this. Novice, 2 bones.
Okay, so first up, the Werewolf King over there just kind of chilling out with Illusen is an Aussie. That's great. And the second thing is Narfus, who apparently has the abilities of a Dragoon from Final Fantasy in order to jump and drop down wherever he needs to. That was really long. So Narfus is a big lummox who...
Come. We must leave quickly before...
You, more than most, should know never to turn your back on your enemy.
No!
Novice, quit playing with your food and kill him!
I guess we were taking too long as the Werewolf King just kind of trundles off. Okay, no time for crying. Yes, our mysterious guide has just totally ate it in the worst scene ever because he was killed by a boomerang. I will just have you let you know that. Oh boy. But we have Narfus. Narfus, as we've just been told, is fire line, so having water moats is very helpful. Narfus is also kind of king of knockback whenever it comes to a lot of his attacks, mainly him swiping his chains around. He has a really good reach as well with his giant 4 arms. How much of a mutated guy is he from being just a regular werewolf? Once you get a few shots over him and just keep moving after he jumps though, he's pretty easy to deal with. Especially when he gets tired every so often and allows you to get in a free shot or 2. But he's kind of an okay boss, especially once you actually fully hit him. He just kind of smacks into the ground. As the boss music still plays, everything's still tense, especially when Illusen is still just flat on the ground. We have nothing much else to do other than to check if she's okay.
Been fighting.
My lady, what happened?
Since she came back, I sensed her power. So dark, so strong. Never felt anything so strong.
Who, my lady?
Listen to me. Her hate is so deep. She'll take us all the fairies, and send us to a black sleep from which we can never awaken. Only my charm can... Oh no! No! She's won! She's won, and there's nothing... You must stop her. Putting the fairies to sleep is only the beginning. You must warn King Scarl that she is loose. His land is mine!